require a public hearing, and once the public hearing is complete, Planning Commission members will deliberate and render their decision. Planning Commission members will, with a personal or financial interest in the petitioner's request, are required to recuse themselves. Tonight, like I said, we only have 5. We've got Kippy Tate, we've got Patrick Moss, we've got Cruz Reeves, we've got Jerome Moore, and I'm Buddy Hardwick. Members and petitioners are requested to speak directly into the microphone because the minutes are being recorded for legal purposes, and this is the only way to accurately pick up audio. Again, I'm going to emphasize this, and I'm going to probably mention it several times tonight. We have 5 members. It takes 5 votes to pass anything. Let me say that again. We have only 5 members tonight. It takes 5 votes to pass anything. So if for some reason you feel like you would like to postpone it because of the fact that we only have 5 members, please let us know when your petition is called, and we'll be more than happy to accommodate you. Or if you elect, because I'm going to ask everybody every time, but it's very important tonight to think through your position. Tommy, are there any changes that we've got other than that little bit that we had on 13? Is that?
That's all.
Okay, y'all, you would please note we've got some additional information on number 13, and when we get there, we'll address that. Okay. Everyone's had an opportunity to look at the minutes. Any additions, subtractions? Any questions? Not a motion's in order.
Move to approve.
All right, Mr. Cruz.
Second.
All right, Jerome, second. All those in favor? Thank you. Okay, Tommy, you wanna start? Is there any reason why we're doing 2 rezonings first? I know we talked. Tanya and I talked about the first one, which I don't have a problem with that one. But the second one, is there any reason we're doing it second rather than down with the rest of them?
We were asked to try to put it up front because the petitioner has another engagement to attend.
I'm sorry, the who?
The petitioner.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, we certainly want to accommodate that. Thank you very much. Okay, Tommy, you want to start us off?
It's 13?
No, sir. 1.
1. Oh.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I probably confused.
The first item is presented by Alfred Barnett. It's a request to rezone 1 parcel of land on the west side of South Court Street, some 350 feet north of Mildred, from T4R Smart Code to T4O Urban Center Smart Code.
Okay. Yes, sir. Come on. Mr. Barnett. I'm taking a minute.
He's coming. He's just got knee problems.
I'm glad that happened to you. I haven't done mine.
But you probably don't make it clear that we're not re-voting on this. We're just voting the rules and restrictions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like we're voting up or down. You know what I mean?
Okay. Give your name and address, your home location, please.
Alfred Barnett, 464 South Court Street.
Now but that's not your home.
No, home 2322 Edward J. Nels Lane.
Okay, sir. All right. You wanna give any information whatsoever to the board? We are, as you know, we heard it last month. You got any other? And let me start off. Remember, I'm gonna emphasize it again. We got 5 people, which means you got to have 5 votes.
When will y'all have your next session?
You want to carry it over to?
Yeah, if I put it off.
All right, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
When do you have your
It's
next?
October 25th.
Okay,
October 25th.
thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you. Okay, Tommy, 2.
Next item by J.M. Garrett and Son, on behalf of MTD Holdings LLC, request to rezone a parcel of land on the east side of Chantilly Parkway, 300 feet south of Highway 80 East from B2 and Ag 1 to B2.
Okay, who's presenting this?
It's supposed to be Richard Bollinger.
Okay. Johnny, you got it?
Got it, okay.
Okay.
I'm going to step in. Richard Bollinger was supposed to be here to present this,
Okay.
so I'm going to do it.
All right.
I'm John Stanley with John Stanley Associates. I represent the owner of this property, which is MTD Holdings, and what we are.
John, let me interrupt you if you don't mind,
All
because
right.
I'm gonna do this with everybody about the number we've got, and I know you certainly know it better than
I do.
anybody.
I understand.
But we do have 5. You got to have 5 votes, so you
Yeah.
could make. If you,
I understand.
You want to go forward?
Yes,
Okay,
I do.
thank you.
Thank you. What we have here is a tract of land that is owned by MTD Holdings, and if you'll notice in your agenda, the portion that's highlighted in red is already Zone B2, and we discovered recently that the rear portion of this tract, which is not highlighted in red, but that tip, or I'll call it the eastern tip of this tract of land, is still zone agriculture. And what we're asking is to go ahead and make the entire parcel B2, which is consistent with all of that property out there anyway.
Okay. Any questions? Any comments? If not, anyone wish to speak for or against it? Not, a motion's in order.
Move to approve.
Second.
And Patrick, second. All those in favor?
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, John.
Next item by ECE Survey and Design LLC, on behalf of Gulf Coast Housing Partnership, requesting final approval of Country Club Estates Plat Number 3 on the east side of North Country Club Drive. It's 165 feet north of Carter Hill Road. It's a R65M district.
Good afternoon. I'm Steve Hughes, helping out for EEC Survey and Design.
Steve, I apologize for interrupting you,
That's
but
quite
I'm
all
going to
right.
do it for everybody. So we do have 5, and do you wish to go forward or?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
We are asking for final approval of Country Club Estates Plat Number 3.
What's the use?
It's multi-use. The usage is not going to change. They're compiling a bunch of older platted lots into one lot. There's no development plan planned at this time.
This is Old St. James.
But what's the density on an R65 again?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Tommy, do you know that?
Not off the top of my head, and I don't have my book with me.
Well, and you know, some of that's going to depend on what the height. I don't know, you know, if you got a 3-story, 2-story, or
I don't see the existing plat. All I see is one that's already platted as one R65 Lot A. Am I missing a document? Is it, you said it's, is it supposed to be multiple lots that are being platted into this one?
Yeah, I was under the understanding this was previously platted property and multiple lots that they're combining into one.
I don't see that.
How many lots? How many lots are being platted in this one?
I'm not sure.
I don't think this was platted property because we wrote it up that it's creating the lot.
Okay, maybe I was misunderstood. It is
Yeah.
previously unplatted property.
Yeah,
So which is it?
it's unplatted property right
Unplatted
now.
property.
So is it zoned
Yes.
R65 or is
Yes, it
is it
is.
zoned institutional?
Currently
Zone
zoned R.
R65.
They came about a year ago and had it rezoned.
But what we're missing, what you're saying is obviously there was some additional, there was lots that would have made up this big, this is all we have is that and then the survey, okay?
Yes.
And so what I think, Jerome, and I'm not trying to speak for him, but at the end of the day, I think what he's saying is there should have been some lots within
Well,
this.
actually, I think I was told incorrectly. It's previously unplatted property, but they're platting into one
Yeah.
platted lot now.
Okay. Now I'm confused, okay? You want to straighten this out?
So,
Brand new plat.
so you're trying to plat a
Correct.
lot to ultimately develop.
No, there's no development plan. It's done for legal purposes and ownership, so they want to combine it in these previously unplatted land into a platted lot.
What does Gulf Coast Housing Partnership typically do? Maybe is a better question.
I'm not sure.
Mr. Moore, a couple years ago, they rezoned this to the R65M for senior living apartment complex.
Okay.
So that was the intended use.
So is there a building on this?
No. Well, I don't know if there's an existing building right now.
There's bunches of buildings on it
According to
right
the
now.
aerial, there's one, but it could be gone by now. I don't know.
No, it's still there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my description says this plat creates one lot for residential use.
Right.
So will somebody explain to me how that's going to work?
Oh, is it?
Well,
How's,
Is
I
this,
don't
is this for one house of
This
series?
is multifamily housing. It's
Multifamily.
R65M.
That's going to go on this plat that we're looking at tonight?
Well, I mean, it could be an apartment complex. I mean, it's multifamily.
I understand what multifamily means, but
Yes.
so the purpose of this plat is to put some apartments out there.
I'm not aware of that. I just know that they're platting it into one lot.
Is that guy next to you the owner?
No, he's for the
Who?
no, he is for a different item.
So can somebody tell me, there's a building on this lot that you're platting.
Yes.
There
By the
is-
area.
Mr. Tate, there is a building on there. It's an old gymnasium that St. James School used to use when they occupied the campus. And this property was rezoned a year or two ago.
Correct.
For apartment, for multifamily. And if I'm not mistaken, my memory's that their Gulf Coast Housing Partnership is affiliated with Volunteers of America.
Okay, I got it. So it's properly zoned. That's not an issue. Now it's being platted.
That's correct.
I have a dumb question, Tommy. So can you rezone a piece of property that's not platted?
Legal description, that's how it's usually done, or by plat.
Okay. Just, you know.
Okay.
All right.
You got
I'm
any
good.
other comments that you want to?
No, nothing, other than it meets all the regulations, zoning and subdivision.
Okay.
All right.
Jerome?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to abstain. I think I know a little bit more about what's going on here, and I think I have a competitive interest, and I think I have to abstain. I'm sorry. And I'm not quite certain that the neighborhood would support it anyway, but
This is just a plat, not a development plan, but I understand you're recusing yourself. Does that bump us to the
Okay.
next meeting?
With that being said, that leaves, that means there is, we do not have 5 votes. So it would be,
Mr. Chairman, I think you still need to vote.
I think we should, so at least gives the, okay? Is there anyone who wishes to speak for or against this? All right, if not, we've got 4. A motion would be in order.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve this item.
Okay. Is there a second? Okay. We have a motion, no second.
All right, no action taken.
sorry. What has he got, 30 days to appeal it to the,
It's a public hearing. If it doesn't, if you don't take action on it, it will be approved up to 30 days.
okay. All right, fair enough. Did you understand that?
I
What
didn't actually hear what Mr. Tyson said.
Say that again, Tommy.
It's, a public hearing has been held on the item, and if there's not action taken on it, then it's, by law, it's approved after 30 days.
Okay.
We're spinning our wheels up here.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Steve.
Okay. I'm still here for the next one.
Okay. All right, Tommy, you want to do number 4?
Sure. Jeff Code Engineers and Surveying LLC, on behalf of Evangelistic Pentecostal Church, requesting final approval of Evangelistic Pentecostal Church Plat Number 1 on the southwest corner of West South Boulevard and Lowell Street. It's a B2 district.
Okay. Steve, go ahead.
All right. Steve Hughes with Jeff Coat Engineers and Surveyors. We're asking for final approval of the plat of Evangelical Pentecostal Church Number 1.
Okay, any questions?
Yes, I do. How do you access this site?
That's an interesting question. The northwest corner where that taper is abuts a ALDOT portion that is part of the right-of-way. So where you see that gravel that goes from that taper westward into Davenport. So there won't be an access onto Southern Boulevard. There'll be an access from Davenport easterly into our parcel.
Access from Davenport, so on the, I guess north is straight up, right?
Yes,
So that'll be on the western portion of the site?
yes.
So are you coming right through that lot?
Yeah, that was acquired by ALDOT and is now incorporated into the right-of-way. So there's a gravel drive there, and it's kind of been a parking lot. We're going to improve that with a drive that goes on to the western taper of our lot.
Who owns that little triangular corner up there?
That's actually part of the right-of-way.
That part of the what, right
That's
away?
actually part of the right-of-way of Southern Boulevard.
What about access from Lowell?
This was presented back in '07 as a plat and a DP, and they had some resistance from the neighborhood to the south, so the owner said that they will deny access off of Lowell and, I forget the name of the other road there, but both of those will be denied access into the site. We've got a DP that's going to be presented, and it'll show that.
So you got one access in
Yeah,
and out.
exactly.
And it's the same thing on Alpine?
Yes.
So let me get this straight. You're coming in off of Davenport,
Yes, you remember it was out there?
going across the lot before you actually get to your property.
Well, I wouldn't say lot. That's actually part of the right-of-way now.
Well, to me, it looks like a lot. It's a rectangle of black,
I understand.
definition of something.
And we had to do a lot of research into that, about the taper and that lot.
And that right-of-way, as you call it, is ALDOT's right-of-way?
Yes.
And you guys have worked all of this out to get access in there with ALDOT?
Yes. Guthrie's had conversations with them about accessing through that. That's being incorporated into the right-of-way.
All right.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Anyone wish to speak for or against?
Got somebody in the back.
Yes, ma'am. You'll have to come up to the mic and give your name and address, please, ma'am.
Jane Hicks, 4500 Lowell Street. The flyer we got was kind of confusing because it said the west-south corner and Lowell Street. But what I understand is on Alpine going through Davenport.
Actually, see the red outline there? Where Lowell comes up and touches it on the east side?
Okay.
That's where Lowell touches.
Steve, speak into that mic if you don't mind, please.
I'm sorry. If you see the red outline there, Lowell runs along the side of our eastern side of our parcel. Alpine comes up, not quite all the way to the southwestern corner, and runs right into it. But we've,
Well, my question is there going to be a road going in those woods back behind Lowell Street? Because that's going to be a lot of traffic.
there's not going to be any road that comes onto Lowell or Alpine.
Steve,
So it's going to
Rabbit,
be,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, there'll be no road that comes onto Lowell or Alpine.
so the access to the church will be West South Boulevard?
Yeah, solely from Davenport Drive.
Okay, because this was kind of misleading, the letter that we
Well, I'm
got.
glad you came down.
I am too. Okay, well, I feel better. I feel better about it.
You're okay with that
Yes,
then?
I'm good.
Ms. Hicks? You're okay with
I
the
am.
answer? All right,
Thank
thank you,
you.
ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Name and address, please, sir.
My name is Michael Stevens. I live at 748 Inwood Drive in the community of Bovar. And like Ms. Hicks stated, it's a little misleading. Now I'm finding out that that is directly behind my house. And I spoke with AlDOT, I guess it was maybe about 2 years ago, because we had a lot of water problems where water was flowing off of the Southern Boulevard down into our neighborhood and especially into my backyard. And it actually flooded my house 2 times. AlDOT did come out there and they said they did have a berm behind my house and they were cleaning it out so the water would flow west. I have no problems with the church, but I'm looking at, I have big problems with as far as development because the water has to go somewhere. And I don't want it to come down on my home like it did before. And when we got the certified letter, it said on the corner of Lowell and the Southern Boulevard. That's actually flowing all the way from almost Davenport Drive all the way up to Lowell now, and my house is right in the middle of that plat now. So I have some concerns about that.
You mean from the standpoint of water?
Standpoint of water, yes. And
How about the church?
I have no problems with the church. Now the trees back there, they did cut down some trees, but it did act as a buffer zone as far as a lot of noise from the Southern Boulevard, to my home.
Mr. Stevens, question for you, sir. So if I'm understanding this correctly, your house is the house that's south of that rectangular
Right in the middle.
right away for AlDOT. Is that
Right
what?
in the middle of that rectangle, south is my home. Where it says Inwood Drive, right in the middle, that's my lot.
Oh, I was thinking it was somewhere else, based on what I thought I heard. But you're actually behind.
Right,
Yeah. Okay. About middle ways of that rectangle.
middle of the ways of the rectangle, right in the middle of Inwood Drive.
So your concern is once they begin to construct this church, whatever site work is done, it could push more water over into your lot. Is that what I'm hearing?
Right.
Or less?
It could.
Or less?
Hopefully it's less.
It'll have to be designed and engineered. I mean, I'll let Steve speak to that, but when you're going to do a building like that, they're going to be a lot more liable on their construction than the current lot. They'll have to be. How would you address that as an engineering standpoint, since that's a concern?
I was just going to say, you're probably going to be happy when this development goes in because our drainage scheme now is going to catch that water that's coming across that lot and go into a detention pond. So you'll probably have less water coming across on you.
Now the only detention pond that I know of.
Speak, Stephen, I'm sorry.
Right.
Speak.
Now, when AlDOT person came out and we surveyed that entire area, the only detention pond is maybe about another 500 feet south of the boulevard. And he said you have to go up under Davenport Drive with a lot of drainage pipes.
Actually, that's our proposed detention pond for when we start to develop the church.
Which way does the water drain now, Mr. Engineer?
It goes almost south, but a little bit southwesterly.
Southwest
It's probably
of
30 degrees southwesterly. So we'll be catching,
towards Alpine Drive.
exactly. So we'll be catching that in the detention pond as we do our development, and I suspect it's going to lessen the water coming under your
I
line.
just want to let you know that is a very low-lying area, and any kind of diversion of water, you got to be real careful about that.
Ms. Stevens, you're gonna have one more look at this and one more shot at this. This is a plat
Right.
of the property. You're gonna
I
have a
understand.
development plan and an opportunity to come back when they actually have engineering that would show what they're trying to do on that lot.
Okay, could I get a contact number, or I give them my number or whatever when that
Yeah,
occurs?
I can
As they
call.
design
As a
it,
matter of fact,
yeah.
if you want to
As
write
they
it-
design it, or you can check with.
Yeah,
with-
just do it now. Y'all exchange numbers, and that way you
Just
can
wanna
share
write
the
your
plan
name
with
and
him.
number there.
It should
We're
improve,
presenting that
it should
soon.
improve his life.
So you'll be getting
You'll get another letter. Okay. Anybody else wish to speak?
That lady.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. If you come up and give your name and address, please.
My name is Lucinda Wright.
Pull that down so you can, if you would, please.
Lucinda Wright. I live at 4412 Lower Street, the dead end where they're talking about. I have the lot 18 and 17. They have that strip in the back. And now I am getting the, what you say, the back downfall off of. They're cleaning off all the water. It's no drainage. The way they left it, I'm getting all, my property, the wooded area over there in my house, all of them coming back on me. And I'm left
Again,
with that
this
now.
is not a development plan. This is a plat, and which has nothing to do with what they're going to engineer and do on the property. It's just taking the piece of property and platting it.
Steve, it seems to me it's very clear, Ms. Wright and the other neighbors around there, they're going to require you to handle the water properly. And so I would suggest you exchanging information with all of these residents that are here today, especially concerned with their water, and give them the plan so that when you come back to get the development plan approved, that we can all have their unified agreement that you're in compliance with what they want.
Okay, because I stay on the dead end of Lower Street. I have lot 18 and 17. I'm right there where everything
If
is.
y'all would,
Yes, I'm on the end.
if y'all will get that, did you have anything else, please, ma'am?
No, we just gonna wait and see.
You gonna get that? All right. Anybody else have anything else that needs to? Okay. All right. If y'all will, all right. If not, anyone else, a motion is in order.
Move to approve.
Move to approve. Is there a
I'm on the
second?
dead end. I'm the last house.
Mr. Moss, second.
I'm
All those in favor?
connected to that back strip.
Thank y'all. Okay, Tom, you want to go to number 5, please, sir?
Next item is by Jeff Code Engineers and Surveyors LLC on behalf of Bethel Apostolic Temple, requesting final approval of Bethel Apostolic Temple Plat Number 1 on the northwest corner of Smythe Street and Lake Street in a T4R Smarts Code zone.
Steve Hughes with Jeff Code Engineers. We are asking for final approval of Bethel Apostolic Plat Number 1.
Okay, any questions? Any comments? If not, anyone wish to speak for or against? This is a plat. Again, Steve, I didn't say it a while ago, but you got to have 5 votes. If not, motion's in order.
So moved.
All right.
Second.
All right, did you get the first and second? Did you get? All right. All those in favor? Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Next item by Pilgreen Engineering on behalf of Jimco. It's a public hearing for a development plan for an addition to a building at 325 South Hopper Street in an M1 district.
And y'all, this is a, DP, so a development plan, so it's not voted on. Go ahead.
I'm Pep Pilgreen with Pilgreen Engineering. This is part of the next item we're going to replat. These are 3 lots. Jimco currently has a cabinet shop on 2 of the lots, and he's bought the lot next door, and he wants to add to his shop. They've been there for 40 years or so, and this is just the opportunity for him to get a little expansion in storage for lumber.
Okay. Any comments from the planning commission? If not, anyone wish to speak for or against? If not, please be noted that we have had a public hearing. Tommy?
Okay, the next item up, Pilgreen Engineering is on behalf of Hoponsky Properties LLC, requesting final approval of Hoponsky Properties Plat Number 1 on the east side of South Hopper Street, approximately 170 feet south of East Washington Street. It's a M1 district.
Well, excuse me for interrupting, but we got 5 and...
I understand.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with it.
All right, sir.
Well, you know, we're just platting the, if you didn't make us, we wouldn't plat it. It's 3 lots, we own all 3 of them, but the law says now we have to plat it because we can't build across property lines.
Property lines that you own.
Yeah, you can't build across whatever you own. So we're requesting a plat.
Okay. Any comments, any questions by the planning commission? Anyone wish to speak for or against? If not, a motion's in order. Is
So
there a
moved.
motion? Second. Is there a second?
Can I ask him one question?
Yeah.
I know this is just a plat, but when they go to store wood here, and we may be getting to that, or we're not. Are the neighbors, they're not here, I guess, no one's here to speak for or against, but is he gonna do any kind of fence or anything, or is it gonna be one of those deals where
Well,
just
Hoponsky owns pretty much the whole east side of Hopper Street, and if you go out there, you'd have to see it to understand. But the property over on Chase Street is actually much higher, and there's a bank there, and there's some trees in the back, but there's no fence down the back. The buildings are within 5 feet of the back property line now.
The only one I was really worried about is maybe the East Washington Street and South Hopper Street corner building. Looks like a fairly substantial building, and
Yes, sure.
Oh, that's a church. That's a new church. They've redone that whole thing, and they own both sides of the street there. But they're good neighbors. I don't think that's a real problem.
okay.
And we're actually kind of down low, a lot lower. That church is pretty significant, and this building, Hopper Street, kind of goes downhill there, so it's not like they're sitting right on top of each other, you know, right across.
Okay. Any other comments? We have a motion and a second.
Yes.
All those in favor?
Reluctant.
Okay. Thank you.
Pilgreen Engineering on behalf of Waffle House. It's a public hearing for development plan for a new building to be located at 837 Taylor Road. It's a B3 district.
This is an existing lot on across east of AUM, next to a service station, and behind it is mini storage, and Waffle House wants to put a shop there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, y'all, it's a development plan. No vote will be taken, but is any comment from the planning commission?
Yes, how does parking 12, 13, 14, and 15 work, Pep?
That's the way Waffle House likes to number them. That's usually where they put their employees.
Or they stack them in there?
They stack them in the back so they won't get in anybody else's way, sort of. But in theory, it's just one space, but they use it for 2 for employees, but we have more than enough parking to accommodate them.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Anyone wish to speak for or against? If not, this is a public hearing has been held.
Next item by Pilgreen Engineering on behalf of Liberty Court Phase 1. It's a public hearing for development plan for a multifamily development to be located at the northeast corner of Liberty Court and Edgar D. Nixon Avenue in a R65M district.
This is an extension of Liberty Street. Just to the north of this property is Lanier High School athletic field, and to the east is the old Sears building. We're currently building a street there. The city of Montgomery is actually installing it with funds, some type of grant funds, and their development is to put townhouses on both sides of the street, hopefully in the future. But at this time, we're only doing one side.
Okay. Any questions, comments? So basically what they got across the street on Liberty?
More or less.
Yeah.
Except
Okay.
the Liberties are all individual lots. These are zoned a little different, but so they're the same.
There's size-wise development.
So Pep, there's a dimension that I can't read, but it's from E.D. Nixon Drive back towards the first townhouse. Well, what's that dimension? I mean, how far away are we from E.D. Nixon?
That's about 70 feet, I think. It's a pretty good ways.
Is that being held back for some sort of retail, or that's
No,
just
no,
a-
no, no. There'll never be anything else there. This is all zoned for residential.
What about the length of these driveways?
I'm sorry?
The length of the driveway, particularly in that first townhouse that's closest to E.D. Nixon.
The length of the drive?
Yes, sir. The driveway from this extension of the street into the townhouse.
Liberty Court.
Liberty Court.
You know, Ms. Tate, I can't read it. I don't know, but it's pretty good ways. And I don't know what the zoning is here, but it.
Looks like it's wide enough for two cars, but I don't know what the width is and the length of it from.
Well, the parking for each unit is 2 spaces, 18 by 20. So if you took 18, that's probably 50 or 60 foot up to E.D. Nixon.
Okay.
It's zoned R65M, so that's.
Yeah, I mean, it meets in. This one's kind of funny because some of the setbacks are kind of odd, you know, because it's not on this one, but lot 2, the setbacks are a little odd because it's a flag lot, and that won't show up till next time. But when we do that lot.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Anyone
Yeah.
wish? I'm sorry.
The detention pond is that. So that pond's on the bottom side of that slope, right? The detention pond. But you can't see it on your drawing up here, but.
Yeah, I see it in the back. It's in the back.
It's in the back, right?
Right.
And we'll put a fence around it, or how's that gonna look when it's all done?
It'll have a fence around it. You'd have to know what it looks like, but that is a detention pond now. It's really low. The land is probably 10 foot higher where those buildings are, and it just drops down. And there's a lot of trees there, and that area is, in essence, a detention pond now. And then they will be responsible for taking care of, Lot 1 will be responsible for taking care of the pond and the city's water that discharges from the public street, Liberty Court.
So the water will be held in this low area. Is it going to be piped out into some?
There's an existing pipe at the northeast corner of this property that all of the water from here to Fairview goes to now, currently.
I got you.
And it goes out across the Lanier athletic fields.
But you will have a fence around it.
Yes.
You will have a fence around the
Yes.
detention pond.
Yeah, they won't leave it undone.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Anyone wish to speak for or against? If not, let it be noted that a public hearing has been held.
Thank you.
Flowers and White Engineering on behalf of Hampstead LLC, requesting final approval of Hampstead Plat Number 23 on the north side of extension of Tavistock Street, approximately 60 feet east of Moxon Street, is a T4R smart code.
Good evening. I'm Kenneth White Jr., representing Hampstead LLC. This is a simple 9-lot residential plat connecting the rights-of-ways of Tavistock and Tavistock. We're just connecting the two and adding 9 residential lots between them.
Okay. Any comments, questions? Anyone wish to speak for or against? Not, motion's in order.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Moss, all those in favor? Thank you, Kenny.
Next item, Flowers and White Engineering on behalf of Providence Partners LLC requesting approval of a revised master plan along the east and west sides of Fane Park Drive, 1,100 feet south of Minnie Brown Road in a PUD district.
Thank you, Mr. Tyson. Again, Kenneth White, representing Providence Partners, LLC. We're asking for a revised PUD. The owner of the property wanted to build bigger lots, to be honest. We had it, the old PUD had more 30-foot wide lots, and the owner wanted to build 50-foot wide lots. So we felt it prudent to revise the PUD to reflect the bigger lot sizes.
Mr. Chairman, excuse me, this may be a good time to advise him of the number of people up here and his vote.
Well, why are we voting?
It's a DP.
No, it's a
revised master plan.
Master plan, Mr. Harden.
So do we vote on that? Don't we?
Yeah. We would have to.
You do vote on the revised master plan, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So
yes, sir.
I would advise him to count.
Yeah.
Because I don't like it.
Kenneth, you heard what he was saying.
Yes,
so
sir. I mean, again, we're building bigger lots. I would think that would be.
You would think that would be a no-brainer. Okay.
But
all right. Well, we're going to ask anyway because
I understand.
You recognize the fact that there's 5 votes and you got to have them all.
Yes.
Okay. And you want to go forward?
Just for clarification, if someone were to vote no, what process is that for a revised master plan for a PUD?
You have to appeal it to council.
Okay, so it would
This doesn't go to council.
It doesn't go to council.
No.
It's not a rezoning.
If someone votes against it, or there's not enough, your current approved plan still exists.
So it goes back to a 30-foot wide lot, which we can build a bigger lot on a 35-foot lot. So, I just wanted to clean up the PUD. That's all I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense, Mr. Hardaway? I can explain it a little bit better if you want me to.
I'm okay with it. I just got to take.
Okay. You want to say something about it? Or you?
I just got to. We're good now.
Can I explain it better?
Okay.
We have a PUD that's already approved in the past. It showed a little bit more 30-foot wide lots within the property. My client wanted to build some additional 50-foot lots in that 30-foot section that y'all already approved. I'm just cleaning up the PUD to allow it. That's all that is.
Okay.
If it doesn't go, I guess my old PUD will stand firm, but I think you can build a 50-foot wide lot in a 30-foot.
I would think.
So,
like I said, I think it's a no-brainer. But okay.
Yes.
Anyone wish to speak for or against? If not, a motion's in order.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you, Kenny.
Next item by Flowers and White Engineering on behalf of Park Place Partners LLC, requesting final approval of Windhurst Plat Number 1A on the east side of Fane Park Drive, approximately 800 feet south of Minnie Brown Road in a PUD district.
This is simply replatting one lot into 2 on a previously recorded plat out in the same property.
What's the lot sizes? I can't see with bifocals.
It's a little bit, it's under 50.
Boy, this is crazy.
45.
43.7 feet.
By what?
It's
100 feet.
You can see that.
100 feet, 100.33 feet.
Who's your doctor?
You need a lot of carrots.
Okay.
I eat a lot of carrots.
All right. Okay. Anybody got any other comments, questions? Anyone wish to speak for or against? If not, motion's in order.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Okey-doke. You keep it on, aren't you?
Flowers and White Engineering, on behalf of Park Place Partners LLC, requesting final approval of Windhurst Plat Number 2 on the east and west sides of Fane Park Drive, 1,100 feet south of Minnie Brown Road's PUD district.
Again, just to make a comment, we got 5.
Yes, sir.
You want to go forward?
For the plat.
And y'all, you do have a, Tanya passed out before the meeting, a comment from one of the owners out there on, of the Dinsmores. That's all it is what we've got here. Okay. So you may want to take a look at that.
Mr. Harper, can you read that? I'm not unaware of anything.
Read it. You got good eyes.
Just come get mine, KJ.
Okay, I can't.
We can read it very well. Is it anybody else might be here and might want to hear it?
Yeah, just read it out loud, if you don't mind, Kenneth. Just read it so everybody can hear it.
Planning Commission, we are unable to attend the scheduled Planning Commission meeting regarding Windhurst Plat Number 2. This is to advise us of our concern and opposition to this development. Our home is located at 9818 Mid Pines Court, parallel to the planned development. There's a chain link fence separating the two properties. A row of Douglas fir trees and a row of pine trees grow along this fence. These trees are mature and the pine trees are impeding the development and appearance of the fir trees. It is felt the pine impose a, I'm sorry, let me read this right. It is felt the pine impose I assume, a danger to our property and are a constant source of straw, bark, branches, and bugs, especially around the pool area. It is a daily cleanup of the pine trash. The development owner has previously advised the pine trees will be cutting, allowing the fir trees to continue to serve as beautification. However, no action has been taken. We are also concerned about the construction noise and dust. Additionally, an invasion of our privacy will be incurred if windows are allowed facing our house and property. We are therefore much opposed to this development until these issues are resolved. Thank you, Tom and Debbie Dinsmore. And she put her phone number.
Okay, thank you. Any comments, or do you have anything you want to start with? And
a few things. I mean, I'm sorry, this is the first I've read this, so let me look at my plat. I believe there's a beautification easement along that property line. Let me check real quick. Yeah, there's an existing, of record already, 5-foot landscape easement along the perimeter of our property. That was on a previous plat.
Is that on the west side there?
Correct, just to the west and actually the south side as well.
Okay, south and west, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let me further understand the question in her comment. It said that there's fir trees and a row of pine trees along this fence. These trees are mature, the pine trees are impeding development. So the pine trees are on our property, is that what she's saying?
All right, you know, I read it, didn't completely understand it, so.
Yeah, I mean, we have a standing 5-foot landscape easement, so and then I think she talks about a chain link fence. We're not going to take that down, it's the boundary fence. As for, construction noise and dust, I understand her concern. We'll minimize that as much as we can. One good thing about this is we're not building any roads. The roads are already there, so minimal grading of the lots will occur, obviously. We'll establish and vegetate that as soon as those grades are to finish grade. As for the windows facing our house and property, I mean, it's a house. We need to put windows in the rear of our houses. I'm an engineer. I don't want to do vertical, but that just makes sense.
But you know there's going to be windows on the house. Okay.
Better be.
I'll accept that. Fire folks wouldn't like it.
Especially in the sleeping rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But other than that, I think our plat adheres to the, which I disapproved with the revised PUD. I humbly ask for final plat approval.
Okay, very good. Any comments from the planning commission? Anyone wish to speak for or against? Not a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.
Flowers and White Engineering, on behalf of the Hagelin S. Wilson Trust, request to rezone property on the south side of Carter Hill Road between West Haven Lane and Sanford Street from O1 to B2.
Again, Kenneth, 5 votes.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'm representing Trust, the Hagelin Wilson Trust. This property, as you see, is east of West Haven, west of Sanford, and south of Carter Hill. It's currently zoned, I believe, O1, and my client is asking for a B2 designation for a retail purpose. I can entertain any questions. I feel like this is a good site for this area. It adhered to the to Alabama State and the students there. You see B2s to the west and southwest there, and there's also a little development to the east down Carter Hill that's similar. I can entertain any questions, should you have any.
Okay, any comments, questions from the planning commission? Anyone wish to speak for or against? Yes,
some
ma'am.
folks in the
Y'all-
audience.
Please come up and give your name and address, please, ma'am.
Hi. Yes,
And pull
my name
that
is-
down, ma'am. It's, there you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
My name is Irva Reed. I live on Terrace Avenue, 1 block behind this location. And the exact reasons, what he just said, I think it'd be a great location because there are other units, similar units on the same street, is why all of the neighborhood vehemently oppose it. We have 2 blocks west, you have a Family Dollar and a bunch of sometimes rented locations in a strip mall that's on South Decatur and Carter Hill. 2 blocks east, you have the school, the gas station, the post office, and a huge barber shop that is flooded with traffic. 4 blocks up, you have Country Club Center where Martin's is. So Carter Hill Road cannot accept nor needs another commercial location. Exactly what you said is exactly why we should not have this. It does not help the students. We have no idea what's coming. In fact, it poses a risk to the students because it doesn't give them a safe haven that they're traveling up and down the street of Carter Hill. So we are absolutely against this. The entire neighborhood, that is Cloverdale Terrace, reaching all the way from Dunbar and Carter Hill, where we have just been overrun with commercial entities, all the way down to South Decatur and Carter Hill Road.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Reed. Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Jasmine James. I stay on 632 Finley Avenue, directly behind where they're trying to, I guess, build a business. Do you know what type of business?
Speak into it, Ken, if you don't mind. I'm sorry.
No, it'll be a B2 use. It'll probably be like a little strip center with the allowable B2 uses in it.
I don't think she, I don't mean to, I'm not talking for you. I just go, give her a couple of examples if you would, because that's not.
Is there a schematic on there that I did?
Yeah, it's a drawing in there.
Is it up there? Yeah. You see this little retail building with several units in the parking. That's just schematic. That's something similar.
Okay. And for that reason, I am in agreement with the lady that went before me. I do not agree with what they're trying to do here because on Finley Avenue, there's already a lot of through traffic there, and it's same with Carter Hill, it's already a lot of through traffic. So I don't think that it would be in the best interest of the community right there for them to build this business here.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. James. Okay.
KJ, has anyone had an opportunity to talk with particularly the residents that this development borders?
I have not personally, but I believe that one of the trustees of the trust has reached out to several folks. I assume they haven't talked to y'all, but we're welcome to talk to y'all. It is own business now, so there's we could build a big office building, and so there's traffic generated by that as well too. Retail, I'll probably say that will probably generate a little bit more traffic, to be honest.
And I'm a little concerned, as somebody said, that there's quite a few curb cuts on too.
We're not going to change any of those. There's two on the site there.
Yeah, but I'm saying you're accepting more cars into the site than what's there now.
No, sir. There's two curb cuts there now, and we're not going to.
I understand that, but if you built this strip shopping center, wouldn't you anticipate more cars coming to the strip shopping center than what was previously there?
Yeah, well, one's open lot, so yes, sir. I would.
And then the other one was, I know what was there before.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I would offer this, KJ, because I'm going to vote. If it goes to a vote, I'm not going to vote for it.
Okay.
Okay. And I don't want to, I'll just tell you I'm not going to vote for it, but I will say if you want to get with the neighborhood people and talk to them a little bit about some possibilities of how you can resolve their differences with this development, I would be happy to entertain that when it comes back. But if you want to push it through, I'm going to just let you know I'm not going to vote for it. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Tate. If you vote no or abstain, there's not going to be any action anyway. Is that fair to say? And they don't have to go to council with no action. So I would welcome to sit down with my client and with them, and if y'all have any additional questions, we can do that at an opportune time. But
I just think that this is such a sensitive development, and the people who live around in this development need to have some understanding of what they can expect if it goes through. And I think a conversation needs to be had. That's just me now, but looking at the ladies out there, I think they deserve a little explanation and some attention about this development.
Could I ask one thing though? We would love to have a conversation with you. There's another step, and it's a month and a half delay. Should y'all vote for it or against it, it still has to go to council in a month and a half. So I would like to have a conversation and then go to the council in a month and a half to have that vote.
So you want to push it through is what you're saying?
I'm not pushing it. I want to talk to them, but I just want to make sure, if we have a conversation and come back to y'all and y'all recommend approval or denial, is that right? You'll still have to go to council. Is that right, Mr.?
Yes.
Mr. Tyson?
If we didn't approve, if you
don't approve it, you have the ability to take it to council. But
okay. Well, I understand.
It's not a given that it goes to council if it's not approved.
It's at the choice of
the petitioner.
The petitioner as to whether or not they appeal to council if this fails here.
Okay.
It's not automatic, KJ.
I'm sorry. I thought even if y'all approve it, it still has to go to council and be approved. Even if y'all deny it, we still can go to council.
You get a chance to take it to council if you wish.
I got it. Okay.
And I just, to be clear, I always want to see land used for its best purpose, and but I always want to protect the neighborhood as well. There's only one place you go home, and you don't want to have that disturbed, and so it's zoned office. Office would be, by the time these people got home, the office people would be going home as well, and so retail has a tendency to bleed over into the night. And there's some great walkable retail areas, and that seems to be the wave of the future, is more density and more walkable areas. So I don't know how you bridge the gap, because in some instances retail would be great, but the wrong retailer there, the wrong dumpster picking up at the wrong time could really damage these people. And so, it would be hard for me to vote for it.
Okay.
Either, whether we have 7 people up here or 8 people, sure. I would have a hard time, just because if I was living right there, I would have a hard time absorbing that change.
Well, let's can I vote to table it to
you
your
want
next
to move
meeting?
it to the next?
Yeah, to give us the opportunity.
I think that would be. I think that would be wise.
We can go outside and get your information.
Ms. James, Ms. Reed, do you understand exactly what he did? He just withdrew the the presentation tonight with the opportunity, I'm sure you want to get with them to get.
Table to the next meeting, I'm sorry.
Well,
Yes.
but you want to get with them to get
Yes.
telephone numbers and to be able to communicate, so.
We need that action.
I'm sorry?
We need that action by the planning commission to that effect.
Well,
We need a-
No, he postponed it.
He just withdrew.
You postpone it, or you want us to vote on it?
No,
Ken?
what I understand he just did, he
I
withdrew.
didn't say
Okay.
No.
withdraw.
You want us to vote on it?
No, sir.
He wants
I
to,
want to,
He wants to
Postpone it to the
withdraw it
next-
and have it next month.
yeah, that's correct. I'm not sure if withdrawing's the right, I want to
Well,
table it to the next month.
for
yes.
tonight.
Yes,
You want
withdrawing
to
it for tonight,
withdraw
yes, that's
the-
correct.
the-
That's right.
It's really postponed it.
Yeah,
Postpone it.
postpone it for a week, for a month,
Yes, sir.
and to have it on next month's agenda.
That
we
is
do it all
correct.
the time.
Okay.
Be back here next
Ma'am,
month.
did that,
We do it all the time.
is that, do y'all understand, and that's,
All right.
you understand? Okay, thank you so much. All right, Ken.
Darnell
Okay.
Bennett, on behalf of Darnell Bennett and Solister Menifee, request to rezone 2 parcels of land on the east side of Norman Bridge Road, 200 feet north of Russell Street from M1 to M3. Darnell
You definitely
Bennett,
need to tell him about his options here.
Who's gonna present this? Who's presenting? I'm sorry? I can't hear.
He's
Opposition.
In opposition. He
Oh,
wants to know
okay,
who
okay.
wants to present it.
Who is presenting?
apparently they're not here.
Let's go.
Okay. If they're not here, we're not able to have the presentation, so we'll have to, it'll have to be moved till next month,
October 25th.
October 25th here.
Sorry you guys had
Did
to
y'all,
wait. Yeah.
were y'all also, was this the one that y'all were interested in too?
Y'all are all
Okay.
opposing this?
Okay. Yes, ma'am, do you mind coming up and so we can all hear?
We're saying he gets to automatically roll over. If he didn't have the pieces, it would come down.
Yeah, yeah.
Should automatically roll over?
I don't think so.
Go ahead, ma'am.
My name is Molly Pinkston. I live on 6300 Narrow Lane Road.
Yes, ma'am.
And right now, this is a garage with a bunch of cars out in front of it. My question is, he wants to build a junkyard there, I think. My question is now, how is he able to keep the cars that he has in the lots there now? I don't understand, and somebody said he didn't even have a business license. So I just want to throw that out to whoever we need to get in touch with.
That is a city issue. And you would, Tommy, what would you just suggest to reporting it to the city?
I'd vote to deny.
Huh?
This has been going on for
Speak,
2 years.
I can't hear you, really.
This has been going on for 2 years. and
So you recommend that we go on and?
I recommend you take action on it. and-
Okay.
And if he,
Does
if
anybody
he
have
wants
a
to
problem?
appeal it, he can appeal it to council.
All right.
Let's call for a
All
vote.
right, if y'all don't mind, let us.
But before
is
we
there
do
a
that, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but have we ever done this before?
I'm not sure.
Well, you got a gentleman that's,
He's setting the president,
yeah.
That's all I'm asking.
a negative president.
And since I've been on this commission, I know when people don't show up, we don't automatically vote on their item while they're not here.
Typically it's not, because this has been going on for 2 years, complaints after complaints after complaints.
But you know what, though? I don't think why can't the city go take care of what these people are complaining about?
We can't go out there and tow cars off.
All I'm saying is what they're complaining about, this lady's complaining about, has nothing to do with the commission.
But it's been brought up. He's not here to make the case. They're here to make the case, and they've been making the case for 2 years. And it's to less restrict a land that's already not being taken care of. And it's our job to protect the citizens, and they're here.
All I'm saying is, if somebody can show me where we've taken a vote absent of the petitioner, I'd be happy to
Well,
entertain
he can
it.
always petition to the city council if he doesn't like our vote.
You're not answering my question. Why haven't we done this before, taken this kind of action before? I've been on this thing for over 10 years. This has never happened since I've been
I'll
here.
tell you, Mr. Tate, what we have done in situations like this is we've let someone present, if they don't present, and they don't present the second time, we don't let them come back.
What does the
For a
book
year.
say? Look, I don't want us to making up stuff up here. What does the rule say?
I tell you what, I'm gonna, as chairman, I'm gonna make a decision, okay? I think you made an excellent point, and I think it really does get us into a bind, and I think we're gonna protect our group, both sides, and we're gonna allow this. He has the opportunity, if he wants to come back next time, to do it.
Okay.
And that way we stay in, we hadn't mistreated anybody.
There you go.
And I'm sorry that y'all, that it's one more night, but,
I understand.
okay.
But who should we call to complain about what's going on there now?
Tommy,
Housing codes.
Not the city councilman, I know that.
311.
May I say something?
yes, sir.
Started with 311.
Just don't get into a long conversation.
Give me about 2 minutes.
All right.
My name is Arnold Mitchell, and I represent the Johnson Neighborhood Association.
Yes,
Okay? We have 3 concerns. The first one is safety.
Sir, I'm gonna stop you right there. We're not gonna talk about the property without the petitioner here. And he's not here, we're gonna allow him to come back next time, because we're gonna have to do it again then anyway.
You seen that property out there?
Okay? All right. Yes, ma'am.
What happens if he does not come back the next time? Pardon?
We'll talk about it then. I don't know the circumstances of what could occur. At some point, we're gonna have to make a decision. And,
Right,
but
because-
that still doesn't solve the problems that y'all have. Y'all have a problem because he's got cars out there
Exactly.
that nobody's taking care of.
Exactly.
And he's coming in here trying to get it.